All right, it's 9 o'clock. Y'all tuned in to the Bankedoutt radio show. I guess technically it's not on 3. It's the first Friday. What is it? February 6th?
April.
Oh no, where am I at? You know, Sales, I think I'm still at the party. But it's April 6th, and I got two special guests coming through. The first one's already here, Mr. Antonio Champion, who is the co-owner of Power of the Pen Publications, which is an intellectual property company that publishes literary works. Is that a good description?
It is.
Okay. Excuse me, Mr. Champion. One, thank you for coming through and doing the interview. You know, because y'all could be doing anything else. So I appreciate all my guests coming through because, you know, you don't have to. But for everybody who's going to go back and, you know, listen to it and watch the video stuff, and then for everybody who's tuning in and clicking the links or anyone who might want to dial in, give us some insight into your background for why did you start a publishing company? Because especially with this day and age, you know, with the internet, digital publishing, and physical copies not selling like they used to at the height of when stuff was prior to the internet, you know, taking over, or I guess diversifying the market more. Why jump into this arena, and where did your passion develop for writing?
Well, my passion is for our youth, and not just saying African American children, but for everyone. A lot of people don't pick up books and read anymore. If you want to hide something from someone,
put it in the book.
You know, and so me being from Georgia and moving to New York at a back in 2004, and then moving back here, I really realized the disconnect within unity within the African American community. I kind of was looking for things like something cultural in Georgia, and I could never find it like I do in New York. And so the author Thorio, he brought this book to me, and he even wrote like a series of books about a lot of things. And this book really is what we built the publication company around. Okay. And what the book does, it takes accounts that have happened to African Americans throughout the years. And in the book, it's a little boy's vision. He had a dream that the roles were flipped around if they were white instead of black.
Yeah, no, when I was on the website and I was reading it, excuse me, I thought that was a great perspective to put out there, because I think our experiences aren't highlighted enough.
No.
And when they are, to other people who don't experience the same type of life and what it throws at you, the way we do, I guess they look at it as, you know, it's like devalued or whatever, because out of sight, out of mind type of situation, because their everyday life, they think, you know, that's how life is. Yes. When life is way more diverse than, you know, their bubble. So I like the fact that, you know, that perspective was flipped. So I think it'll be a great eye opener for those who do want to pay attention.
Yeah, you know, on the book it does say that it's a book for everyone to read, because it lets you give you an insight of how it feels to be an African American. Where you have Trump, who said that he thought all black people was on welfare. You know, you have people that say stuff like that. And
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but you know, I can go into a whole lot of stuff with that. But I'm like, things like that, they perpetuate stereotypes. And then when you have people in that position and that power and the influence say things like that to everyone who are on the fence about the belief of us, or who do believe it, you know, that all black folks are on welfare, it solidifies their way of thinking. And therefore they were like, well, if they said it's true. Well, we know that people say a lot of stuff and it's not true.
It's true.
Or there's a difference between truth and fact. Yeah, because truth is perspective, fact is fact. You can't dispute fact. Truth you can dispute, but still, it's not fact that we are all on welfare.
It's true.
It's not,
We
you know.
we know that.
Yeah.
We know that.
But the way that it's been sold, and even with like TANF and
Mm-hmm.
the food stamps and all that, and just government assistance, I'm like, people don't like looking at numbers.
No.
I'm like, when you look at the numbers, it's majority white women, white single women. That's what the programs were designed for.
Mm-hmm.
And that's who they benefit the most because they out populate us. Huh. Well, I need some water.
Yeah. You drink.
Oh, I sound like I'm sparse or, you know. Get my producer tell me what to do.
You know, one thing I would say that being in Macon,
Mm-hmm.
and I go downtown on Cherry Street a
Mm-hmm.
lot, and I used to wonder why a lot of white people would look at me as I'm walking by, and they would clutch up or get closer together. I think I'm going to either beg or rob them, and I say hello to them, and then they sit there and like. Like an exhale, like, okay, I don't have to worry about him, you know. And I was like, that's a problem, you know. That's a real bad problem. I just a lot of things within us as African Americans. I think that we can learn a lot by focusing on ourselves. And within this book, it lets us know how to be more conscious about ourselves.
Yeah.
And you know, and we have to teach our kids, because our kids don't know. They don't.
And then if
They don't
you
know.
look at the school system now, because I have 8 children.
Okay.
Excuse me, and they go across every grade. Actually, I have kids in every section of whatever you want to call it: elementary school, high school, middle school, pre-K.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been seeing is this common thread to where when they talk about our history, one, they want to start with slavery.
Yeah.
Now it's gotten to the point to where they talk about slavery, but they don't talk about how bad it was.
No.
They be like, well, some people got on a boat and they came to America. What?
Basically, that's what they
So
say.
now they're whitewashing what happened, the experience.
They'll talk more about the Holocaust
Yeah.
than they'll talk about slavery.
And then you have, it's amazing because me and my wife, we had this conversation. She goes to Antioch University in New Hampshire. She's in a doctoral program.
Oh, nice.
And there is a Jew in her class, or Jewish or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm saying it right here.
Hasidic or Orthodox.
Yeah. And he tries to make the Holocaust like it's, one, like it's still here.
Yeah.
But then two, like it was worse than slavery.
Oh,
From
man.
the conversations that she has with him. And
A
she's
lot
like,
of them do that. And what they don't realize is that short period of time that Holocaust went on, and that was what, 1940s or that went on. We're talking about the 1600s. And then we really can't say that it ended in 1896. It kept going. And then if you read stories about like towns like in Mississippi and Alabama, it was going on in the 80s also, in the 90s. And so
they back, yeah.
slavery technically never ended.
It didn't.
Or, you know,
it
never
just changed its the way it attacked us or whatever. No
I
matter
mean, slavery's still going on if you look right now with what's going on with the cops and how they can sit here and blatantly shoot an African American and then get away with it scot-free. You know, they get away with it
laws
scot-free.
wasn't written for us. We not a part of it. The Constitution, I'm like, they still think of us as property, their property. And I'm like, it's sickening, you know, because it's not just here in the United States either.
No, it's
You know, it's worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
And the crazy thing is we make up the majority of the population.
Yes.
But we only like own 10% of the world
Yes.
as melanin dated people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's crazy.
It is crazy. It's crazy. But when you look at things, it's crazy. But oppressed people don't feel that they could be their superior. So what they do is they try to mimic them in every way that they can to not overstep them. And so when you have oppressed people that's sitting there saying, okay, I can't do this, you know, it's just like with us, if we do as the Europeans, we try to make sure we have this and that, and try to live as close to as we can to Europeans. It's just like African Americans or just say that we're our just say white people have more money than us as a whole, but we buy more Mercedeses in America than they do. You get what I'm saying? And so we want to give that look of something, but
want to like fit in, so
like
we conform to just to feel like we should be accepted. When I tell people all the time, man, just do what you what you feel is you and is comfortable, and then even like us doing us, we have our peers that will ridicule us if we're being ourselves, and like, well, that's not black or whatever. I'm like, what? First of all, you can't even define what is black. Now we have commonalities in some things, but we're not just one homogeneous group of people who do the same thing. We're not all just robots. And I'm like, come on, but it's hard to live a life as a black person.
It is,
because you damn if you do, damn if you don't.
It's people. My mother passed away when I was 15, and she used to always say people could talk about you no matter what. So you might as well just make good for yourself. My son, when I moved here, my son was in his senior year, and he was used to going to school in Manhattan, and he could walk to McDonald's if he wanted to, and just walk around as long as he's back in class on time.
Yeah.
So, and I'm an avid person for education for African Americans, and so I put him in school here, and I go take him lunch one day, and the principal is on a foghorn screaming at the kids, telling them not to be in the parking lot, not to be like this, go in a single file line. And I'm like, okay, my son not used to being treated like this. You get what I'm saying? And so
felt like freezing.
So I was like, okay. So about 2 weeks after that, my son called me. He was like, they won't let me go to the bathroom. They have a bathroom schedule, and the bathrooms were locked because of something that had happened that previous year at the school. So I'm like, okay. I went to talk to the principal. This man is in my face eating an Egg McMuffin, spitting in my face at the time. You know what I'm like?
Yeah,
okay.
So he just disregarding whatever you saying anyway.
He disregarded everything I said. So I'm like, okay, why is it this bad here that they treating and Macon is a town where we are majority in this town. We are majority.
We should be running this town.
We should be running this town. But yet we still have a colored waiting room at the event place where people spend thousands of dollars to have their weddings. And I'm like, okay, what is?
Yeah, just like downtown. I think I posted that about a year or so ago or 2 years ago. Where the terminal station is.
The terminal station, yeah.
Colored entries.
Just as plain as day.
Like,
colored waiting room.
Well, when the hell they gonna get rid of that? I'm like, damn.
So look, you have things like that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, we do have people out here that's fighting about a lot of things that's going on in the community. But I put posts up all the time on Facebook about stuff like, don't fight about a Rosa Parks park and people drinking in that park when you got gentrification going on around here, where they tearing down homes and moving these people out of everywhere, just having them they getting ready to move to Dempsey. Where all of these people they found it reasonable for them to have luxury apartments right downtown on Cherry Street, so they don't fit what the town is supposed to be anymore.
Yeah,
that's racism. And they don't
gentrification
see how
out it exactly.
Gentrification, and I mean, since I moved here, I've seen places just get tore down left and right. But you're tearing these places down, and you're giving these. You don't have no recreational things for little kids or for young kids to do, and so they gravitate towards what is easier for them. And so that's why these kids are like forgetting about the education aspect of life. They're like, I got to get it now. I got to go and get these J's because all my boys have them, and I know my mama can't afford them, and so I know I can't work at McDonald's because in Macon, let's be honest, most crew members at McDonald's are African American men that are 30 or above. So these young kids don't have nothing to do really.
They really don't.
It's a lot of things in this town that and all over. It's not just Macon. It's all over. Because as you can see on my page, like with the book, we went to New York. I'm the author, and my co-owner of Power to Pen Publication. He's from the South Side of Chicago, which is from Robert Taylor Holmes. So it's like I see things happening that has happened in Chicago years ago.
Exactly.
When they took these people, they put them in these places for everyone to live there with each other and get along with each other, which was fine. They got along then, but then when you tear that down, that's all they know, and give them nothing else.
Exactly. It took away all the resources.
So then it increases the crime in the city.
Exactly. Poverty and lack of opportunity.
No.
They see it. They just don't care. But I'm gonna let some people call in. If anybody out there, you listening, you want to dial in, add to the conversation, whatever the case may be, you can do so. 917-889-8041. We're gonna jump into some music real quick and be right back and discussing more of these different books and these topics. All right, we are back, and we have our special guest, Mr. Antonio Champion, the co-owner of Power of the Pen Publications. We're having a lot of great discussions off of air that y'all not privy to, but hey, let's get into it. I like to not only talk about the inspiration and the passion behind something and the vision, but also why the entrepreneurship.
Why the entrepreneurship? Because I have seen that. I work in corporate America also. I've seen that that's putting a limit on myself. That's putting a limit on myself. With entrepreneurship, I'm my limit. And so when people say that sky's the limit, I want to go to another galaxy. And I know that working with a corporation, it's not going to take me there.
Yeah, back in the day, I used to be a corporate plantation worker. But I knew going in, though, I had a great job as far as like standards of people saying, because I had a $70,000 a year job. Had, I think, 6 kids at the time. I have 8 now. Good benefits. I worked for the railroad. People were like, "Why would you give that up?" I did it for 6.5 years. But I always knew going into the situation, I'm not going to be here forever. I talked to a lot of people that was there at my job, in my department, and they got comfortable with making that money, right? So I think, we all have this thing where at a certain point or threshold of finances, we give up our dreams, and that's what it's designed to do. But I believe I've always had the entrepreneurial spirit. I was like, young, selling candy and stuff. I worked in retail. I did great at it. They wanted me to be manager and stuff like that when I was in high school. So I've always had those skill sets and stuff, and I always was like, you know what, I'm going to be my own boss one day. And just had to wait for the right situations to come along and to also, create situations too. Excuse me. But I'm like, I saw them, and I'm like, where are your dreams? And it's like they just gave up on them.
They gave up on them.
Just because, the money, and there's security in that. I understand. But I feel, and I tell people all the time, the real risk is not going out there and chasing your dreams, because you live a life of regret. You don't know what could have happened.
That's true.
People always like to look at the uncertainty of things, but they won't look at, the possibilities of what could happen. It's like they scared to jump off the bridge because they don't know, if there's a safety net down there.
Wow.
And I'm like, I couldn't do it. So that was like one of the best days of my life. Besides having my kids and besides getting married, I even rank it higher than graduating college. Because the sense of relief that I felt when I was like, I ain't coming in today. I'm like, you can have that. They're like, are you quitting? Yeah. Click. And that's what it was. Never turned back. Excuse me. And that was almost that was like 4 years ago.
Oh, good.
Been a full-time entrepreneur since.
Really good.
Yeah. So like, I'm able to do all these other ventures, and I still pay my bills. Quality of life did not change for my children whatsoever. Now, I'm not saying just jump out there with no money or nothing like that, or no
Mm-hmm.
plan, or no sense of how you're gonna, provide for yourself. I'm not saying that because that would be foolish.
That would be foolish.
Make a plan, but just go ahead and jump out there and execute that plan. Looks like we got some callers that want to talk to you.
Okay.
Caller with the 233 number. You live on air. Hello. How you doing?
Hello, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing alright. How you doing?
I'm fine. This Antonio. I'm calling in
That's
on
out the
one of
Thorio.
Oh,
customers.
okay. I appreciate your book, man. I just got it and I'm gonna go through it.
Oh, all right. I appreciate that. I'd like to know what your insights on it.
Oh, well, I haven't read it yet, but like I was saying earlier, I like the perspective of,
Right.
just showing that to, the audience. And like I went on the website and saw that, because when most people see the reverse racism and all that stuff, or when you uplift one race, the other race thinks that you're putting them down.
It's true.
And that's not what you're doing. You're shedding light to something that they should feel passionate about as well. I'm like, come on, we run the world, we set trends, we create industries. I'm like, we created barbecue.
Yeah.
You can think about it in a sense. The rib was a throwaway meat.
Yeah.
They thought it was disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
We don't own none of that.
No.
We don't own it.
Mm-mm.
And I'm like, that's crazy.
Wow.
We don't get what is due to us. So I definitely am looking forward to going through it and just seeing the perspective and it's shedding light and then talking about it and letting other people learn about it and read about it as well. So I'm definitely gonna do what I can.
I appreciate that. But as far as the book, it wasn't written to put anybody down, but it was written to make them understand how we feel.
Exactly.
So, if, not to put you down, but yes, to understand where we're coming from. Yes.
And that's one of the good things about the book also is that it's no cursing
Mm.
in the book whatsoever. So children can read the book,
Mm.
but certain words, just like they would say the N word to us just freely, certain words that are said back on them are in that book, but there are no cuss words in the books at all.
That's dope. So I'm looking forward to reading to the book. Thank you for writing the book. I don't think a lot of people
Right.
acknowledge when we go on these quests, especially when it's something like creating something. You know, a lot of people don't see the value in it
Mhm.
until it's like a show me type of mentality
Yeah,
when it takes time, preparation, research,
that's true.
and people don't see the back scenes behind stuff. And I'm like,
Even with the editing of this book, um, a lot of people, when you go to certain bookstores,
Mhm.
they would say, well, this book wasn't written in the format that we would like for it to be written in.
mm-hmm.
But we're writing it in a way that can be understood. He wrote it in a way that people can understand it and know what he's saying in the book.
Exactly.
And a lot of urban authors, they write their books and then they let people critique their books or their writing skills
Mm.
so that it will be formed in a way that, okay, this book is formed in this way as Martha Stewart wrote her books, and
Mhm.
so, but this book has taken that out and put, like we say something, so
Mhm,
and
yeah.
we spelled something in here,
Exactly.
and so it took a lot of thought with Arthur Thodio to think this book out and take the accounts that he have
Mhm.
taken that has happened in the United States to African Americans and switch those roles around.
So, excuse me. While I have you on the phone, how is the y'all's plan as far as pushing the book? How well has it been received, whether it be in our community or outside the community?
The book is being received well. Um, it I can say that it's more up north.
Okay.
They take it. By the time most people see that it say no whites allowed,
Mm-hmm.
they freeze up. You know, they freeze up.
Yeah.
What is he trying to say? What is he trying to do? He's starting something. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so it's just making people more cognizant in the South that this book it could be your best friend. It could help you, and it could help your white friends, your Mexican friends. If this book, if you was to read it and take knowledge of it, get to seek the knowledge, because you got to first understand
Yeah.
why Lil Josephus can't come and spend the night at Jose's house. You know, you gotta understand it, and this book will give you that reason why certain things are the way they are with us. You know, you have to kind of imagine too that we are people that we've been given things, but then it could just be, we know that it could just be taken away just like that without us, you know, without us saying anything about it.
Yeah.
Corporate America, you know, and so we know that things are like that for us, and so if other people understood that, they would understand why we try to hold on to what we have
exactly
for so long, you know. And so
because I don't think anybody else gets to experience that sense of loss and uncertainty.
You're right.
And I really haven't seen that in any other type of history. Yeah, you've had, like, you know, everybody's had wars, everybody's been oppressed in some type of manner, but ours have been way beyond measurement.
Yeah.
That when you put it to other people's, it doesn't compare.
You know, I tell people a lot, just imagine, me and you could be cousins. We wouldn't know it. You know, you had the mother, the husband, and their 5 kids in one place. They came in the night and took one of them and put them anywhere. You don't know. No. So we don't know. We, as African Americans, we can never say that we're going to find out where our roots actually started from, because they took that all away.
Yeah.
You know,
You lose your sense of identity.
And so we have to. We are the only race that had to start our own identity back. You know what I'm saying? And start gathering information up ourselves. Because I mean, moving to New York, I did learn that you had Italian people who grandmothers still spoke just nothing but Italian. You know, and they knew all their roots from Italy. You know,
exactly.
And so with us, we can try to relate to things, but we will never ever.
Yeah, I never really have that in-depth experience.
Us, you know?
Exactly.
So, you know, I mean, my last name is Champion. My last name could be something totally different, you know? And so we don't know. We just took on from there. But black history started way before slavery.
Yes.
And that's what we have to focus on, is getting the knowledge from our past, beyond past slavery, and embracing that. You know, I think that that with the Black Panthers movie that came out, and how they was talking about ancestors, and how and one guy said in that movie, the guy that said, I would rather jump off the boat like the rest of my ancestors instead of going into bondage. You know, and that meant a lot. That saying right there just gives you chills in a way, because was it really was it that bad for them that he would say, or they would say, I'm gonna just jump off myself. I'm gonna just jump off because I'm not going through this with them, you know. And then 2, I have to look, and this is something that I talk to people here about. You've seen the movie Underground. Okay, the series of Underground, and they call it The Making 7. Okay, I'm looking at that as in, I know a lot of people from up north, and then I met a lot of people down south, and then I'm like, when you talk to them about being conscious about your African heritage, or being African American, or just standing up for your rights, and just, you know, standing up, being that person, you know what I'm saying, being that African American person, proud of your black skin, you know.
Exactly.
It's hard for me to get that into a lot of young kids here in the South, rather than being in the North.
Yeah,
You know, if you look at prom pictures now that of the kids, I put something on Facebook the other day about little kids going to the prom, how you have the little boys and they have their white girl or the Latino girl with them and they strutting around. But then you have all the girls, the black girls, they go as friends and they just sitting there with each other as friends. I'm like, why aren't the little black boys dating these girls? You know, so
Yeah,
it's
just-
a lot of things that
it's
is going on with us. that we don't-
layered. There's so multi-layered issues, whatever. Where I believe in propaganda.
Mhm.
And the fact that, even through marketing and subliminal advertising,
Mhm.
like, why when you see negative or evil, it's always a dark black color,
Yeah.
and whenever you see good, it's a white color, and that's subliminal.
It is.
So if you keep seeing it over the course of time,
Mhm.
you're gonna think everything that's white is good and pure.
But they and I have to go back to what we were talking about earlier about faith
Mm-hmm.
and religion. I'm gonna put on my white robe as I walk into heaven.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm gonna put on my white robe as I walk there. I'm gonna get angel wings, and my angel wings are gonna be white feathers. You
Mhm.
know, and so a lot of African Americans have started looking at
Mm-hmm.
white as being pure. You know, I mean,
Mhm.
as we looked at a white Jesus all our life, you
Mhm.
know, and so we felt that this white Jesus is going to be our savior. So in our minds, when you see someone that's white, you would trust them
Mhm.
more than you would trust a black person, because that's all you've been taught, is that you have always seen white as being pure,
Mhm.
clean, and
And-
something
and
good
right,
for you.
yep,
And so
exactly.
your provider, you're just gonna take care of you.
Yeah, I've been telling people all the time, damn, white be getting dirty too easily.
Yeah.
So the hell, white. But some people might think I'm a radical with some of the stuff that I say or do or the way that I am. But hell,
Just be.
yeah, I just be,
Just
and
be.
my kids accept me, so that's all
That's all that matters.
that's all that matters.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because I don't claim like Christianity like a lot of
Mhm.
other people do or
Mhm.
whatever. I'm like, I really don't know. I'm like,
A lot of people don't know the first ship that the slaves were sent on name was Jesus.
mm-hmm.
The first ship was Jesus.
And I'm like, it's crazy because it's like I see these memes on Facebook, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but like, it'll show a white person beating, and it's the slavery time.
Mm-hmm.
A black person talking about believe in Jesus, and then the next picture is like 200 years later. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they just beat Jesus into you,
Birth
made
of
you
a
believe.
nation.
Exactly. And I'm like, you don't know. We came from, speaking languages and knowing mathematics and all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start to really look at history or whatever, I'm like, man, please. Some of these people you're brainwashed.
Yeah, they've
And I'm
done
like,
it. They
and it's hard to have conversations with them to see them from
Yeah.
a logical standpoint or whatever. You can't even prove the existence of Jesus. There's no historical record
no.
in a history context
That's true.
besides the freaking Bible, which is nothing but a book that's been reproduced and transcribed over 70 different times. So you don't know what was lost, if it was factional, what was lost in that.
Mm-hmm. And it was written in Hebrew.
Exactly.
Hebrew
You go
didn't
from
have
different
vowels,
exactly. You go from different languages and all that. So when you really start to look at stuff, and I'm like, just like how they say Columbus discovered America. No,
Mhm.
he didn't. Dude landed. First of all, he didn't discover anything
No.
because it's already inhabited.
Yeah.
I hate Columbus Day. I really
Me
do.
too.
I do. My kids, I've even impressioned that onto them to where some of them, like October, whatever day it is, they come around like, I hate this day. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, hey, I'm right there with you. I hate this day too. Why this dude get out of this? I'm like, first of all, you was fleeing from your country
Yeah.
because they was gonna execute your ass
Mhm.
because whatever you did or whatever, the king was fed up or whatever. So you gonna think you gonna sail around the world and discover spices and riches and golds or whatever,
And go back.
and be this, whatever they call them, get some type of high title, but you landed in the islands. People were already there. You killed them,
Mm-hmm.
and now we celebrate. No, I don't celebrate you. No, get the fuck out of here with that shit.
You know, it's the same kind of like with, even though my family uses it as a day for all of us to get together, and my family's a melting pot of religions. I have a sister that is the Assemblies of Yahweh. My brother's an imam for the Muslim faith. I'm I'm conscious. I actually, when I speak to my ancestors, which I think that they are in me, and I think that I can't separate myself from being with my ancestors because they are a part of me. And so I give my power and or God, I give the God in me power. And so in that I can say that I am my power.
Okay.
You know,
hey, I can actually see that, you know, because like the laws of attraction, stuff like that. I believe in that. Now I don't believe that you just wish it and come true.
No,
I'm not stupid like that, but some people are. I believe in that. What you want, you put out there, and it changes your mind, because then you wake up every day. That's your goal. So then you manifest what you want to happen into your life, because you put yourself in that place to get there. So like if I want to change, like I'm very passionate about the youth. I coach basketball when it's basketball season. I do a lot with my kids. My kids' school know me like crazy. Every time I'm up there 3-4 times a day, depending on, you know, whatever I need to go up there for. I'm volunteering for stuff. I'm always talking to the kids, encouraging them and things of that nature, exposing them to different things. And I'm like, I want the generation. I feel like I'm responsible to help bring the future generations to the point to where they could take the baton and run with it. I feel that responsibility and that obligation as an individual and for my community, right? I don't get that sense with a lot of other people.
No.
And, you know, sometimes it's hard or whatever, but it's not going to stop me from, you know, doing what I do. And I like, you know, hearing different people's perspectives and things of that nature, and not being, you know, closed-minded to the information.
And that's good. You know, one thing that I have realized also, we as African Americans, we can cook. We can season food good. We can cook. But there's more dialysis clinics, and people getting younger and younger. Dialysis and heart disease and all that kind of stuff.
Like
so
diabetes is a man-made disease.
It is.
You shouldn't be a kid with diabetes.
No, at least not type 2.
Yeah, exactly.
Know, so, but you have to also look at it as in the aspects of, you have a crackhead and you have someone that since a baby you've been dependent on sugar. You know, you're eating this sugar, and keep in mind I used to weigh 350 pounds and used to be a diabetic also. You eat this sugar until your leg rots off. Your leg literally rots off from eating sugar. But you have this crackhead that can still run around, and you give him $15, he'll cut your grass and all this kind of stuff. It's still active, you know.
Yeah, I got a lot of them in my neighborhood, you know. I've been putting them to work.
So when you look at something like that, so what's worse? You know, so you got these kids that you. I mean, the sugar affects 7 parts of the brain. Crack affects 1.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But there's no help for these kids that are growing up obese. You know, I was a kid that grew up obese. I was a growing boy until I was 16. You know, I always thought I was a growing boy. You know, so our parents didn't know any different.
Yeah, exactly. So they just passed on the traditions of doing stuff and, you know, lack of information. But then when you find out the new information and you start seeing it, I'm like, excuse me, I became an avid gardener, right? I actually have a garden in my backyard and part of my front yard.
Nice.
And I've always posted on Facebook and stuff like that and Instagram. I have kale. I have collards. I have cauliflower, broccoli, spinach, turnips, arugula.
It's really important because the pesticides that they put in when you purchase it.
Yeah, I have fruit trees. I have pear trees. I have apple trees. I have an orange tree. I have peach trees. And all this stuff is coming now or whatever. My kids, we just go out in the backyard, cut down stuff, cook it. You know, it tastes totally different. Like my kids will not eat stuff that's in our garden from the store.
Mm-hmm.
But they're introduced to the Swiss chard. They're introduced to kale, which kale is way better for you. They're introduced to these dark leafy green vegetables that you can grow year round.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and people just think it's summertime or it's springtime stuff. No, man, you can grow food year round. You just got to know which to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't tell you about this. But this information is out there.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that I got inspired was my mother-in-law had developed breast cancer, stage 2. Now, she beat it or whatever, but she went chemo and everything. And I didn't agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was like, you know what, we're going to get better. We're going to do better. I was like, cool. She bought plants. I planted them. It took off. Now, I'm teaching everybody else. And I'm teaching my kids. My kids like, yeah, we're going to get a garden when we older too. And just build it. And I'm like, you know, the benefits, the saving the food costs. I'm like, yeah, you know, it gets sick or whatever, but there's over 20,000 plants.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't even touch the surface.
No.
We don't even scratch the surface.
We might eat an apple every now and then.
Exactly. And I'm like, there's so many things. It's like, I have like purple sweet potatoes, and they're full of antioxidants. I have blue Viking potatoes growing right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, shit's expensive.
Wow.
If you go to the store and buy them, it's like $5, $7, $8 a pound.
And you know, I'm
But you can grow them though. Like, you stick it in the ground. In agriculture, that's a lost art.
It is a lost art.
Think about before, and I don't mean to cut you off or whatever, but like in the 1940s and the 50s and stuff, when we were growing our own food, different type of lifestyle you could live.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I don't think we could do the same things though, because we're not that same species
That's
anymore.
True. That's true. Now what you're saying, and this is why I endorse the book so much and love this book so much, because just everything that you just stated that you do with your kids, everything you just stated with showing the school from earlier and harvesting your own crop, you're teaching them something. Now just imagine a kid that grows up in the house whose parent don't listen to rap music. and only thing they know, only thing they know is, let me just take you to McDonald's and get you something to eat so I can head out to the club tonight. You know, or that teacher didn't teach you that, you need to sit in here and learn it yourself. You know, so just imagine a child being raised that way. That's totally opposite of the way you're raising your kid.
Well, I run into them. So, and my kids come home.
It's a big difference.
Yeah,
you know?
it is. And, you know, they'll see stuff at school, whatever, and be like, you know, oh, they're crazy, and yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, well, you know, you got to understand from where they're coming from in their household. And, you know, and I think it all ties together, right? We work to survive.
We do.
We don't work to thrive. I tell people all the time, life shouldn't be hard. It's not meant to be hard. Life is meant to prosper. And I feel like, you know, I'm at the pinnacle of my life, and I'm coasting until I get, you know, to where I want to sit down.
Yeah.
Where I want to sit down, not because I have to sit down, but when I want to sit down. You see what I'm saying?
It's a difference.
It's a difference. I meet a lot of other people, and they're still in survival mode. But I'm like, it all goes, there's so many different things that they do, I think, to us purposely to keep us from running the life that we're supposed to run and thriving.
That's true.
But then when we do cross those barriers and get past those thresholds, we don't bring nobody with us. You know, we don't want to teach the next.
No.
And it was amazing because, like, I've been running around selling these Bankedoutt Radio Show shirts. So anybody out there listening, I got Bankedoutt Radio Show shirts that y'all can purchase, $25. You can hit me up. You can go online to bankedoutmusicgroup.com. No, .bandcamp.com. I'll post the link. But I've been running around the city, right? And giving these shirts to everybody who say they want to support, because I'm loving it. Because ultimately the money can be used to increase everything that we do, to bring on more people, to have more shows, to blow up the platform even bigger, so it will be a sense of ours, our narratives. And
FUBU.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's the same like type of blueprint. And I met a gentleman, and he told me, he was like, man, I can just tell just by talking to you and everything that you're about your business, and like you like the only person. This is an artist. He's like, you the only person that where I talk to about the music stuff and business and how to make money from this or whatever. You're about your P's and Q's or whatever. And I was like, thank you. I hear that a lot, and it's sad that I know that there's other people I know who they're not even my competitors because I don't believe I have competitors. There are other people who know industry stuff like I know industry stuff, but they don't do the same thing. And I'm like, why not? Why not want your people to survive? Why not give them the blueprint to survive and to thrive? I'm like, don't hold them down. I'm like, because information is information. Now, I'm not going to do nobody's work for them, but I'm going to, look, this is what you need to do, and this is why you need to do it. But it's just amazing, the crab mentality. It's so sickening. It's like nobody wants to see you win. I want to see y'all win. I want to see everybody win.
See everyone win, and that takes a lot of you winning. You have to win in order to want other people to see you win or see themselves win.
Yeah.
And one thing about me, I don't have if it's a conversation that you're having, and it's something that I don't want to do the last 5 seconds of my life, I walk away from it. I think that a lot of people love to hear the negativity about a person more so than trying to encourage them, especially with African Americans have been torn down so long. They want to hear the bad. They want to hear that you're not doing good. You can put something on Facebook and you can put, oh man, I'm having a good day today, this and this and this stuff. Man.
You're 2 likes.
You're bragging.
Yeah. 2 likes.
But you put something on there negative about something.
Shawty's in the club and she got toe up, or she had sex in the club, or he cheated on his wife or whatever. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, man, what the hell's wrong with y'all?
You have to. I often wonder, why do people like to see the negativity in life, and it takes an individual to see themselves and see what they really want in life to let stuff like that not bother them. It always go back to like Jay-Z and Beyonce. People talk about them like a dog. They just stay right there.
Exactly. They're in their lane. They focused.
I found a problem with a lot of people. Like if I want to talk about money, if I sit here now, I want to talk about money. I want to talk about purchasing some houses. I want to talk about this and that. Oh, he's bragging. So I had to recycle or cipher through my friends, and I'm like, okay, if I can't talk about bettering each other and I can't feed off of you bettering me, we don't need to be around each other, So
exactly.
Because I don't know what it's like to go to the club and buy a bottle. I've never been one of the ones to make it rain or nothing like that, because I was thinking about, okay, I need to hold on to this because I'm trying to stack up something for the future.
Yeah, it's like I tell people all the time, I'll be thinking about, man, what investment I'm going to buy today?
Yeah.
And they're like, I got an investment account. And I'm like, I'll be looking at the bad word now. Like, all right, boy, I'm up to 15% there. I'm like, yeah. They tell me, I'm making, all right, you can throw your money away how you want to. Hey, look, I understand strippers got to eat and everything, but you ain't get my money.
No, I never did.
Use a liability.
I never did. I remember it was a first Friday. I went downtown Macon. Me and my son went out, because just keep in mind, and back then I was probably 39. I'm 41 now.
Okay.
I was 39 back then. My son was already 18 years old. So I was like, okay, I'm going downtown with my son, and I seen these dudes, they Facebook Live and on video, and they got a big bottle of Hennessy, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, they got a big bottle of Hennessy, just shaking it and this and this, all in the video. They drunk it, left the bottle right there. The cars that they was around, they walked away from those cars. And I think one of them called a taxi to get home, and one of them, and so I'm sitting like, wait, where this happened at? So I'm like, okay, these are not the priorities that I want anybody to be around. I said, especially my son. I said, I don't need to be around. I don't need to see nothing like this. So I don't understand the, I guess you call it flexing. I don't understand the flexing of people.
Man, they got to make themselves feel good or something, because I think what it is, ultimately, they know their life's shitty or whatever, so they got to make it look like their life's not shitty so they won't feel shitty. for like 3 minutes or whatever. Because reality gonna sink back in when you step through your door. You know what your reality is.
It has to.
And when I stepped through my door, I'm like, I'm cool. I'm trying to go to sleep or watch a show or something or whatever. I like binge watching on Netflix or something.
That's me.
Or watch documentaries. I've gotten into a lot. As I get older, I get into a lot more of the stuff. Like I like get into science and history and everything more. I used to hate it. Even chemistry. I used to hate it when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
But now that I'm done with school and all that stuff, I'm way more into it now. But yeah. I just think people, that's how they escape their reality.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to deal with it, and not dealing with it, helps them, I guess, survive or function or whatever. But I'm like, if you really dealt with your situation, you come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
You shouldn't always be broke or whatever. You shouldn't always have to experience, financial hardships and stuff like that. That should be like, a transition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and once you put your priorities, in order,
mm-hmm.
everything else falls in place.
It does.
And I'm like, I don't worry about paying my bills. Man, I ain't had nothing cut off in so many years. I wouldn't even know what the hell to do.
I can't think of the last time a credit collector called me.
I'm like, what?
Yeah, what you calling me for?
Who are you? What they do this at? You leave that lifestyle alone, so then you forget, about it and everything.
Yeah.
But that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to prosper.
Yeah, when I was about 3 weeks ago, I was in Baltimore,
mm-hmm.
and I was giving out my little flyers to people with the book and everything, just getting them to know that we here and a couple of bookstores there. And so one guy was sitting on the porch, and if y'all have ever been to Baltimore, it's bad.
I've heard it's bad. I got a couple of people, artists and stuff I work with that's in that area, and
it's bad. That movie, the little show that was on there,
The Wire.
That's like real life there.
Okay.
Like, honestly, it's like real life there. So I went past one guy and I tried to give him a card. Just hand him the card. I was like, here, sir. This is I'm with Power to Pen Publications. This is the book Reverse Racism. He said, and I don't know if I can say the N-word or her.
You can say whatever you want to.
Okay,
we're not regulated by the FCC. FCC.
He said to me, nigga, don't you see, we ain't finna read shit. We trying to buy drugs. Everybody trying to get high over here. I'm like, yo.
Excuse me.
It was like everybody there. No, and I'm going to say it was a lot of respectable people in Baltimore. And a lot of people did purchase the book, and they did get the card there on our Facebook page and everything like that.
Yeah.
But just that guy right there. Now, I'm like, okay, I don't know if I should really go into a conversation with this man.
You don't even know whether it's worth the time
or if he goes shoot me, or I don't know what's for
you might better more in fight, like until trying to get high,
Yeah, so it was. I sat there and I was like, wow. And I had my niece with me who was in Philadelphia, and she was like, Uncle, can you believe he said that?
I'd be like, I've met a couple of people like that in my life, just trying to do stuff or whatever, and they just there. They just existing until it's time for them to die. Yeah. Like they don't know anything else. They have no aspirations. So it's kind of hard. It's like talking to an idiot. No matter what you say logically, it won't make sense.
Yeah, you're right.
To them because they're not there.
You're
so
right.
you can't argue with stupid. You know what I'm saying? So
that's true.
He's just existing until he dies. So you can't fight that. Like,
but don't you feel a sense like with me, like I see people in their situations.
You want to help,
and that's my. Sometimes that can be my downfall, that I do want to help.
Yeah,
you can't help everybody.
You can't, and I had to learn that the hard way because I kept using too much energy and trying to help people. That I've come to the realization that once I put the information out there and I talk to people, I've done my job. So I am satisfied with that, and you can't take that away from me.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, you can't say I didn't tell you.
That's true.
It's
that's
like
true.
The old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink.
Make him drink it.
Lead him to the water, and that's your job.
That's true.
So you just gotta let it go. But it's a great conversation. I can see
Yeah.
you come back on. We just
Yeah,
gonna be talking. But go ahead and let everybody know out there, and for everyone who's gonna tune in and stuff like that, how can they get the book? How can they follow? What they can do to support the movement?
Okay, to support the movement, we are. I do have copies. You can email me at powertopen publications at gmail.com. The book are in several bookstores within the metro areas of Georgia, New York, Chicago, and also Maryland. The book is on Amazon.com.
Okay.
The book is on Books A Million. It's Walmart.com. Oh man.
And y'all moving. I'm loving it.
It's Kindle.
Okay.
Google Play. The book is this book. This
Mhm.
book, Reverse Rate, and it's gonna look different because we did change the graphics in the
Okay.
book on the front a little bit.
Mhm.
This book is already out. It's been out for about 3 years,
Okay.
but we just started promoting the book and getting the publication company going
Mhm.
to start advertising it a
Yeah.
lot more. The book right here, it should be out within the next 2 weeks.
Okay.
And it's called Shorty Got That Work. It's like more of an urban book.
Mhm.
And it takes the life of someone that lived in Chicago, a kid that lived in Chicago, and how he maintained his life in Chicago.
Okay.
Also, we have Arthur Thodius wrote a lot of books. You can get in contact with us at www.powertopenpublications.com. We're
Okay.
on Instagram as Power to Pen Publications, and we're also on Facebook as Power to Pen Publications. And so you can join us. We do like to see pictures of people once they purchase their book. So I will be getting a picture of you today.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey. Yeah. For everybody there, I bought a book, so I just don't bring them on the show. I buy their merchandise too.
So we just want people to get out there and just
Yeah.
be involved. You know, I do a lot of speaking in different areas, and I go to a lot of events that happen for African Americans, especially with getting our young people together. The 1,000-Man March is one of the things in Atlanta that helps out a lot of the youth in the Atlanta area. I'm trying to get them to go other areas with me, because there's a lot of places like Gainesville, Georgia, where my family lives, and here in Macon, where I'm at, where there's a lot of things going on, you know, and I think that there's a lot of young kids that need guidance, and we know that they're not going to give it to us. They're not going to give it to us at all, and so
Exactly.
you can. We need to start focusing more on building a community, and in order to build a community, there's 4 essential things that's needed, and that is schools, supported by us. Hospitals supported by us. Banks supported by us. And grocery stores supported by us. And if we can get those 4 in the community and focus more on building those things up in the community, we will be able to survive this and get our own thing going. Because if you look at any other race, Gainesville has a Mexican population there. They've built a whole city for themselves around the area because they do have their own banks. They have their own urgent care centers. They have their own schools. You know, so if we can start building more of our putting our focus on building that in the community, we can have our own community. We can have our community back.
Exactly. We take back what's ours. It's rightfully ours. So definitely, thank you for coming through.
You.
You're welcome to come back any other time.
Oh, definitely.
Any new books, whatever the case may be, let us know, and I'll, if you can't make it, I'll shoot it out there to the people.
Certainly.
But before I get into some of this music, and before our next guest come on, I would like to give people the last word. So, is there anything that you want the people to know?
Be proud of yourself.
Okay.
Know yourself. Don't let the influence of others tell you that you can't do anything, because the sky's the limit. Well, the sky's not the limit. Try to reach for another galaxy. Try to reach high.
I like that.
And it is possible.
That's what I'm talking about. So y'all make sure y'all go and you support excuse me, Power of the Pen Publications. Go online, support, buy 12 books.
Yeah.
And then come back and buy T-shirts and merchandise. Support the book tour. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, any other social media platform. Support people who are doing positive things in the community. Appreciate it, Mr. Champion, for
Thank you.
coming
I
through.
appreciate
And like I
y'all.
said,
Thank y'all.
you can come back any other time. We're about to get into this Cal Davis, and we'll be our next guest when we come back.